It is the eve of Election Day. We'll show you where you can get help with your ballot before tomorrow's deadline.
And it is soaking wet at the moment throughout the inland Northwest. We have the latest on Doppler radar and when the strongest winds will be heading our way.
And Boeing workers are voting today on a proposal that could bring them more than 7-week-long strike to an end. Hi, everyone. It is so good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin with this. Election Day less than 24 hours away. Spokane County voters will have several options to get those ballots turned in time. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is explaining how the county elections office says they've been making preparations to help curb any large crowds.
Well, yeah, that's right. And some of that preparation is having the EWU Catalyst building as another resource and a drop-off location for those ballots. So here's what else you need to know. Both the EWU Catalyst building and Center Place Regional Event Center in Spokane Valley will be hubs for all things voting. At these locations, you can take care of registration, drop off your ballot, or obtain a replacement ballot if needed, among other things like asking the staff questions. The Spokane County Elections Office says having these two locations is vital to help with crowds that possibly come with Election Day. Parking and lobby space is limited at their elections office, so having the extra space at these locations will help with any additional rush of voters.
Both of these sites have huge parking lots, great areas for the voters and for the staff to assist the voters.
So both voting centers will be open from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. today. Tomorrow on Election Day, the centers will be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. If you still need to turn in your ballots, of course, you can use these locations, but you can also find several drop box locations across Spokane County. You can find those on the county elections website, along with KREM 2's website as well, and we'll point you into the right direction. But for now, reporting here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
And we are learning more about voter turnout, at least so far, how it's going. We've learned that half of Spokane County voters have indeed returned their ballots. And according to the Washington Secretary of State, more than 2 million ballots have been returned statewide. So taking a look at the age breakdown of who is voting, people aged 65 and older have the highest return rate, while ages 18 to 24 have the lowest return rate. Looking locally in Spokane County, about 189,000 ballots have been returned so far. There are only about 1,600 ballots challenged at this point. Challenged ballots are sent to a supervisor for a final decision. Election officials may contact you if there's a problem with the ballot. And as a reminder, your ballot must be in a drop box or postmarked by 8 p.m. tomorrow. And a reminder that Coeur d'Alene Public Schools will be closed tomorrow. The district decided to close for the day to protect voters and students since some schools serve as polling places. Regular school schedules will resume on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Washington State Governor Jay Inslee activated some members of the National Guard. They are supposed to help with public safety as Election Day nears and vote tabulation gets underway right after. Inslee saying this is, quote, purely a precautionary measure. And if you are still filling out your ballot as of today, we'll see Initiative 2066. KREM 2's Mark Hanrahan breaking down what it means for Washington voters.
Initiative 2066 would prohibit state and local governments from restricting access to natural gas. It would also prohibit the State Building Code Council from prohibiting, discouraging, or penalizing the use of natural gas in any building. The campaign was sponsored by the Building Industry Association of Washington, which says it protects the freedom of Washingtonians to have the clean energy of their choice. In March, the state of Washington passed a bill that prohibits any gas company with more than 500,000 customers from getting natural gas service if that service wasn't in place by 2023. A yes vote on Initiative 2066 means keeping the ability to use natural gas in the future. A no vote means eliminating that option for gas companies with more than 500,000 customers.
And you can watch all of our election coverage, including explanation about what's on your ballot and full unedited interviews with congressional candidates. That's right now on KREM 2 Plus. KREM 2 Plus, by the way, free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Well, It's a mess outside. It is a weather impact alert day. Wind and rain, they are here. And we have meteorologist Thomas Patrick with what we need to know. Thomas.
Yeah, Laura, and that rain and wind is coming in that order. Rain first, and then the highest winds are going to be moving into play. We have a weather impact alert day today, mainly for the winds, because that's going to be the far more impactful thing out of those two weather factors. And you're probably thinking, well, the rain is particularly heavy at the moment, and it is, but the rain is something we have dealt with aplenty recently. But when the wind gusts start pushing 40 and 50 miles per hour, that's the weather factor that can actually start causing damage across the region. We're talking tree damage, branches could snap off, or even power outages are possible when the winds start getting that strong, which will be a little bit later on today. We have wind advisories and high wind warnings that kick in next hour. That'll be the earliest that we really start to feel the more intense winds, but they can just continue to build and build as the evening wears on here. But at the moment, I mean, quite obviously, it is raining heavily, but Doppler radar really shows that the heaviest rain is centered directly over Spokane. I mean, this is actually a very heavy rainfall, kind of Spokane within the dozen miles around the city center here. So even areas like Cheney, Valley Ford, the Spokane Valley and out towards Deer Park getting the worst of the rainfall, more moderate over Coeur d'Alene. And as we widen things out and you look off to the west, this is where it started to dry out. And that's because the cold front has already cleared Grant County. So the rain only lasts for a couple more hours, but the winds are going to start to pick up from here on out. We'll have an hour by hour breakdown of the rain and the wind for the rest of the day coming up.
Thomas, thank you. Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown's office released its budget proposal for the next 2 years. It's sitting at about $2.5 billion. Nearly a quarter of the proposed budget would pay for general government services such as police, fire, streets, parks, and recreation, and the city library system. The proposed budget also includes the city's $50 million deficit. A crash northwest of Sandpoint sent 4 people to a hospital after their car crashed head-on to a tree, according to Northside Fire District. On Saturday, crews responded to Gold Creek Road and Gold Creek Lane. We are still working to find out the condition of the people who were inside the car. And the titan in the music business has died. In just 3 minutes, we'll take a look back at the life of Quincy Jones. And it is, of course, the last full day on the campaign trail for the presidential candidates. We'll show you where they are as they try to get out every last vote. Lots more still ahead on KREM News at noon.